You know, we spend thousands of dollars on laptops and ring lights, broadcast microphones too, just to look professional for the people watching.
Yeah, we build these perfect little studios, and
Right.
then we ruin it all by relying on a lens the size of a pinhead.
A pinhead embedded in our monitor bezel. It's ridiculous.
It is the remote work paradox, really. We're trying to run broadcast quality meetings on hardware designed for quick FaceTime calls back in 2010.
Yeah.
You just can't cheat physics. A tiny sensor can only do so much.
Which brings us to our deep dive for today. We are looking at the Zenty ZT-153 PTZ USB camera 10X.
Quite a mouthful.
It is. And I've been looking over the specs, the manuals and custom reviews from HDTV Supply. And the mission here is to explore how this specific camera bridges that gap between, simple plug-and-play usability and actual professional broadcast-grade control.
Because it definitely straddles that line. It gives you moving glass and actual motors.
Without needing a film degree to set it up. But I have to stop you on the specs right away, because I see it's rocking a 12.7-inch high-definition color CMOS sensor.
With 2.1 megapixels.
Right, delivering 1080p resolution at 30 frames per second. But in an era where my phone shoots 4K, isn't 1080p a step backward for a dedicated device?
Well, if you're just looking at the pixel count on the box, sure. But in optics, size usually beats count.
How so?
That 12.7-inch sensor is significantly larger than what's in a standard laptop. A solid 1080p image on a large sensor absorbs way more light than 4K squeezed onto a tiny chip.
Oh, so less grain in a dim home office.
Exactly. You get better dynamic range and less visual noise. Plus, 1080p at 30p is still the gold standard for bandwidth stability on streams, but really, resolution isn't the headline feature here.
It's the glass. The 10X in the name.
Right, the 10X optical zoom. We aren't talking about digital cropping where you zoom in and it just
Turns into a pixelated mess.
Yeah, exactly. This is mechanically moving the lenses. You can frame a shot perfectly or zoom in on a whiteboard across the room, and the image stays completely lossless. And it has a 70-degree wide viewing angle, too.
That is a killer feature for anyone doing distance education or medical communication, actually being able to read the text on a chart behind you.
Precisely. It creates a depth of field that digital zoom just can't fake. Plus, the advanced autofocus algorithm is tuned for this.
Fast and stable.
Very. If you're pacing around a stage or a classroom, it locks back onto you without that hunting or breathing effect.
Speaking of pacing around, let's talk about the movement. It's a PTZ camera, so pan-tilt zoom. The spec sheet says it rotates 355 degrees horizontally.
It's almost a full circle.
Basically a turret.
Yeah.
And 120 degrees vertically. That gives you complete coverage of a room.
It really does.
But here is where I get a bit skeptical about the whole usability claim. The back panel has RS-232 and RS-485 interfaces.
Yeah, the power user stuff.
Right. That looks like we're wiring a server rack, not a webcam. It supports professional protocols like VISCA, Pelco-D, and Pelco-P. Is this going to scare off the average casual user?
It looks intimidating, sure, but for a power user, those ports are gold. You can hook it up to a professional joystick controller or script camera moves, but if you don't want to touch that, it comes with a standard handheld remote control.
Oh, so you can just use the remote to pan, tilt, flip the image, or set a preset.
Yep. The system actually supports up to 255 presets.
255? Who needs that many? I feel like I'd forget where preset 103 is pointing.
It is absolutely overkill for a home office. But think about a church live broadcast or a large conference hall. You might need presets for the choir, the pulpit, the projector screen.
That makes sense.
And the handheld remote lets you quickly call up 9 specific positions, which is plenty for most of us.
But usually when you start talking about VISCA protocols and motorized gimbals, you enter driver hell on the computer side.
Surprisingly, no. That's the beauty of it. The video interface is USB 2.0. It is completely driverless, plug and play.
No software installation.
None. You plug it into Windows 7 through 11, Mac OS, or Linux, and it just works. It's platform agnostic.
So it's compatible with Zoom, Skype, OBS, WebEx?
Even Facebook Messenger.
Wow.
The customer reviews from HDTV Supply really back this up. It has a 4.7 out of 5-star rating. Customers specifically mentioned the checkout was easy and called the product excellent because it just worked.
Okay, but let's talk cost. Professional glass and motors usually require a small mortgage.
Well, today's price is listed at $700.
Ouch. That is a serious commitment compared to a basic laptop webcam.
It is, but the source notes a specific discount line, 25% off, that helps soften the blow. You have to remember you aren't paying for software tricks. You're paying for the hardware, the motors, the chassis, the optical glass.
It really bridges the gap, doesn't it? It offers professional flexibility with consumer-level ease. Just a simple USB connection.
That is the main takeaway here.
And it leaves you, our listener, with an interesting thought to mull over. With tools like the Zenty ZT-153 becoming this accessible, are we reaching a point where the standard laptop webcam will eventually become obsolete for anyone serious about their digital presence?
Something to think about before your next video call.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.